an open letter to FKATZOID, PJ Cruikshank, Michael Kahn, and all the other religious pieces of shit who disregard science for a 2,000-year-old book written by idiots. Let's say that you needed, your family was under hard times, and you needed help to get food so your family won't die, right? Like a food bank, soup kitchen, stuff like that, right? Food pantries. So you call them and you say, "How can you help me?" And they say, yeah, just tell us how big your family is, and we'll give you food based on how big your family is." Cool. So now my family won't die because there's a place that can help, right? There's no jobs. Begging's illegal. They'll put you in jail for begging, for panhandling. You can't make any money online. You've tried everything. So your last resort to save your family's life is to go to this food pantry, this food bank, this service. So you measure how big your family is, right? You measure how many kids you have. You got 4 kids. One wife and yourself. That's 6 people. You measure their sizes, right? How much calories they'll consume in an average day. You measure all those things with your family. How many there are, how big they are, their weights, their ages, because with age, metabolism changes, right? You've got all these measurements to accurately judge how much food you should need for the month. So you go to this place and you say, okay, I've got all the measurements for my family. I've got their ages, the numbers, how old they are, their weights, everything. I'm going to need groceries. I'm going to need food based on this. And the guy looks at you and says, the Bible says you only have 1 kid. So here's your groceries. Here's the food to support your entire family based on the Bible, because the Bible's right and your measurements are wrong. How would you feel? How would that sit with you, FKATZOID? What would you think of that person who looks at the measurements of your family and sees your family standing right in front of him, and the measurements match what he's seeing with his eyes, but he looks at you and says, no, the Bible says you only have 3 people in your family. That's what the Bible says. And you look at him and you go, where does it say that? And he says some words, some gibberish. And he says, well, see, it doesn't say it, but that's what it means. How would you feel about that, FKATZOID? That 3 of your kids are going to die because some religious piece of shit trusts his interpretation of the Bible over your fucking measurements? How would you feel? The earth isn't flat, motherfucker. The Bible is a book. Science is real, and you're a fucking idiot.